want to move on to Mount Sinai, because this is very exciting. And why I think it's exciting in itself, but also because it can be compared to a Jewish wedding ceremony, an ancient Jewish wedding ceremony. And why I really want to focus on this is because when we think about the giving of the 10 Commandments at Mount Sinai, should we think about do's and don'ts? Do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, kind of like wear a seatbelt, don't drink and drive, but what God wants with us is so much more, that it's not about rules and regulations, it's about a relationship. It's about a love covenant relationship between the bride and the bridegroom, based on love and based on devotion and faithfulness. And this is why God met with his people, and it was basically like a wedding. So I want to just go through this a little bit and bring out some of the elements of the wedding. So first of all, the shofar announces the bridegroom. And the bride says to the groom also, my companions are listening for your voice. Let me hear it. So the shofar represents the voice of God. It was like the voice of God on the mountain. It says when the blast of the shofar sounded long, became louder and louder. Like, who was blowing the shofar on the mountain, for goodness sake? That was God. God was blowing the shofar on the mountain. And it represented his voice. And Yeshua's return will also be announced with a shofar, because Yeshua is our bridegroom. Blowing to say the bridegroom is coming and wants to meet with his bride. So the second element is the chuppah. The chuppah, as you can see, is usually very beautifully decorated with flowers, and it's to represent the cloud covering over Mount Sinai. Yeshua also, when he comes, it says he will come in a cloud and every eye will see him. All right, the third element is the ketubah. This is the marriage contract. So we have the shofar, we have the chuppah, and now we have the ketubah. Basically, the rabbi signs it, and the bridegroom and the bride sign it, and it's basically saying these are the responsibilities and the privileges of the bride and the bridegroom. And this is what God did on Mount Sinai. He outlined with the 10 Commandments, he outlined, this is what I expect, and this is what I am going to give.